Hello, welcome to HistoryPitch 6. I'm Tamson Pietsch and we are here in the Brunel University studios for our last History Pitch show before the Christmas break. And we've got a very exciting day today. We've got a special guest, Ben Bowles, the Boatie, which is quite alliterative. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. We'll come back to you in a minute.
All right.
Yeah. We've got Josie, of course, who is going to be doing the luckiest people alive, or the unluckiest people, as the case may be. They turn out to be the same. Jagveer is here with some conspiracy theories, and we hope to have a range of other contributors. Also, we have the Itinerant Poetry Librarian, we have Erika, Hanna, Rob is back, we have the Devil. It's an action-packed show. But we're going to kick off, as normal, with a brief, tantalising dip into the historical past on this day, December 13. What happens? The Japanese army occupies Nanking in 1937. British forces launch an offensive in Libya in 1941. There's always something going on during the war. But let's switch and just think about Christmas. Ben, you're going to do a little Christmas segment for us.
Right, I am, yeah. Do we want facts about Father Christmas, the names of Santa's reindeer, or facts about white Christmases?
Let's go for the latter.
OK, white Christmases. England has only known 7 white Christmases in its entire 20th century history. According to the records of the Met Office in London, snow fell on Christmas Day only in 1938 and 1976.
Wow.
OK, right, so the definition of a white Christmas in England is when one snowflake falls on the roof of the London Weather Centre on the 24 hours of the 25th of December. So you just need one snowflake there, one rogue snowflake. So the last time we had a white Christmas with snow falling across the UK was 2004, although large parts of the southeast of England missed significant fall. It always does, it never snows in London. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are more likely to have a white Christmas than England, so there you go.
There we are, regionalism. That's a very arbitrary definition of what constitutes a white Christmas.
Isn't it just?
Yeah. You could be standing on the building next to the Met Weather Centre with a big fan.
Yeah, I was going to say trying to waft it on with a snow machine and just hoping that nobody notices.
What else did we have? I mean, we skipped over facts about Santa Claus. What was the other option?
Okay. Names of Santa's reindeer, we probably know those. I'm going to scroll down. There's facts about Christmas food. I haven't read this one through yet, though. So this could be new for all of us. What do you want? Another one?
Give us some facts about Christmas food.
Okay, facts about Christmas food. OK, an old wives' tale says that bread baked on Christmas Eve will never go mouldy. There you go. Endless bread. The Christmas turkey was imported to France by the Jesuits and is still known in some French dialects as a Jesuite.
Oh, a Jesuite. OK, we're all going to Jesuite.
Lovely.
That's excellent. So in case listeners, you can't tell, we are having a loosely Christmas-themed show today. So without any further ado, let's kick off with Erika. Happy Christmas.
Hello, Tamsin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Ding dong.
Ding dong, exactly.
Now we are going to talk Christmas attire, is that right?
That's right, yeah. We're talking about all your sartorial issues with Christmas.
Yeah, problematising cultures of display.
I wouldn't even be that heavy about it, so we're just talking about jumpers.
Jumpers, all right. Is it all right or is it not all right to wear a thing with a reindeer on the front?
I'm not into ironic clothing.
Is it ironic?
What is all these Christmas jumpers we've seen in the last 2 years?
Yeah, it isn't. Is it directly influenced by the killing?
I wouldn't know. I suppose it is.
It's like a Danish crime fiction, and there's a woman, the lead character, wears this awful jumper.
There's also kind of awkward family photos. You know that website?
No. Tell us.
Oh my God, how do you not know that website? You should Google awkward family photos. That's exactly what it is. It's like photos of families all wearing the same jumpers and stuff.
So you're saying that, like, the Christmas jumper is an attempt to sabotage Christmas photos?
Yeah, sort it. I think it's just an attempt to be ironic about Christmas and maybe even sort of being retro about Christmas and sort of having a wry sort of, one raised eyebrow about Christmas traditions. Also, where you wear this jumper. You get a lot of hipsters wearing Christmas jumpers. And I just think it's wrong. I just think irony is a dangerous thing.
Oh, it's a dangerous thing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because at some point you forget you're being ironic and it's just normal. That's what's happening with the Christmas jumper everywhere at the moment.
It's a defensive strategy, isn't it, irony? It doesn't make anything. It just sort of defends you against having to care. So you risk something when you care, and when you wear a reindeer jumper, you're telling the world that you actually don't.
Exactly.
So what should we wear instead of the reindeer jumper?
Well, I put it in nice dress. But this segues interestingly in my second point. What do we wear? It's in particular, office Christmas party. What do we wear?
What do we wear at the office Christmas party? Okay, so there is 2 dimensions to this, isn't there? There's the, what kind of level of sexy are you going to go for?
Yeah.
And then there's the what kind of adornment are you going to go for? The kind of gesture towards Christmas, which is the hat or the earrings. Or
also the earrings. Can I tell you about my Christmas party?
Oh, please.
Okay. As your readers, I don't know if your listeners know, I'm at the Centre for Art History at the University of Leicester, and this year we're having a Christmas party, and we're actually going all out. So we're having it on the same day as our advisory board meeting. So quite a lot of prominent academics will be there from, Oxford and Cambridge and things. But we are the staff of the University of Leicester, right? So we are so overexcited about this, and all we've been doing all week is talking about our outfits, okay? And we're really, really planning on getting exceptionally drunk and perhaps doing karaoke, because this is Leicester, most nights and karaoke. And so I'm not planning on getting so drunk that I, reveal embarrassing sexual secrets about myself and maybe throw up on some person.
Excellent. So, okay, so you're planning for degeneration. Does that mean that's built into your outfit for the night? That there's a certain kind of flat-shoed, long-dressed approach?
Exactly. Definitely flat-shoed, hopefully wiped down, I'd say.
Wiped down, spray and wipe. Yeah, maybe plastic-coated.
Exactly. But basically I'm wearing a black mini dress and, some flat ballet pumps, which would be completely inappropriate in front of all the great and the good of higher education. But I don't care.
I'm not sure what would be appropriate in front of the great and the good of higher education, though. This is a much broader question about what a young, highly intelligent woman, female academic, we should wear.
Okay, Catherine, my answer to this, and this is a year-round question, not just Christmas, even though it applies to Christmas as well, is I copy you. So, virtually every day to work...
Erika, I thought I copied you.
I'm not sure who anymore. I wear black skinny jeans, a black jumper, and a jacket, a black blazer from Zara.
The Zara blazer is one of my favourite wardrobe items. We have discussed this. I've recently been adding a splash of colour into the wardrobe. I'm not sure with how much success.
Okay, what is your splash of colour?
A shirt.
Oh, okay, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, I know you're problematized about the shirt. Or I've bought some coloured jeans, skinny jeans.
Okay. Your red jeans?
Yeah, sometimes a red scarf.
Okay. I don't do any of this. I just stick with the black.
Okay, it's safe.
Yeah,
it's safe.
I look a bit like Hamlet, a bit like you, a bit like Hamlet.
Hamlet was, intellectual and troubled. That applies to us both.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've got another question about Christmas dress.
Okay, hit me.
Is it okay or is it not okay? How to wear your pyjamas on Christmas Day? Can you, and when do you have to take them off? And what kind of pyjamas is it all okay? And do you have to buy pyjamas in order to open your presents in them? Because inevitably they will be in the photos.
Can I be really funny about this, Tamson? Yeah, I think you're right. I think new pyjamas, maybe Christmas themed. I think put them on in the morning, not the same ones you slept in. Because I find people really smelly in the pyjamas.
So you're saying, that's very interesting. Make sure you put a bra on.
Yeah, put a bra on.
Put some deodorant on. Slip into the new pyjamas.
So not really pyjamas at all, the more sort of performative pyjamas.
I told you we'd get there. Cultures of performance.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's quite important. And we haven't found out though what your gesture towards adornment is going to be on the office Christmas party. Are you going to wear a themed necklace, for example?
Do you know what? Taking it back, irony thing, I probably won't.
You probably won't, gosh.
No.
I'm going to wear... Now, I'm not going to ruin this for my listeners, who will obviously all be at the student party that we're going to tonight. But I'm going to wear a necklace. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud. It's non-standard. Definitely non-standard, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's quite classy, even.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to finding out what this is.
I'm sure you and all our listeners do.
Excellent.
So I feel like I've learnt quite a lot today. I'm going to go out and buy some pyjamas.
Exactly. Keep it clean, guys. Don't do anything ironic. That's all I'll say about Christmas.
Okay. Straight up, straight down. And if in doubt, wear black.
Yeah, exactly. Works for me.
Thanks, Erika. Well, have a good one. I hope Randolph comes and lands.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah. We'll see you on the other side. Probably in the new year, in fact.
Exactly. Well, Merry Christmas.
2013. See you.
Bye.
Thank you, Erika. Happy Christmas. It was a pleasure. I feel like I've learnt a lot about what I'm going to wear tonight to the History Society Christmas party. Tavinder has just walked in the room. I'm sure we'll get an advertising slot in a minute. But I want to switch now to Josie, who has got some lucky or unlucky people for us. Hello, Josie.
Hello.
I like your Christmas hat.
Thanks. I like your elf hat.
Thank you very much. It's a knitted elf hat, everyone. Just imagine that.
Okay, today I have Genghis Khan.
Ooh.
And sort of predictably, he was quite unlucky. So in a way, he was also really, really lucky. As we all know, he united the Mongolian tribes to create one of the biggest empires. But before that, he was very unlucky and then became very lucky to survive it. So at the age of 9, he was sent to the household of the arranged marriage family. Like, he had to serve.
He was married
them.
off at 9.
Well, he wasn't married yet. He had to serve there until he was the marriageable age of 12. So he was sent there and being a servant, and then his father was poisoned, and his father was the chief of the tribe that his family was in. So his father was poisoned, and Genghis Khan returns to the family, and he tries to take over the tribe, but he's like 9. No, he's still 9, and the other members of the tribe say, no, we're not having that, you're way too young. So they kick him out, but they also kick his mum out, and all his siblings. And he's got 2 older half-brothers, and I think 3 or 4 younger siblings as well. So they just sort of abandon this family in the middle of Mongolia.
Which is the Gobi Desert. It's alternatively freezing and hot.
Pretty much, yeah. They're just left, presumably to die. I don't think they're really expected to survive, because they didn't want him to come back and cause trouble for them later on. So they're abandoned, and they lived in absolute poverty. He killed his half-brother when he was 10, so you get some idea about how ruthless he was. Like, he was very ambitious. And
can I just insert a small fact here about sharks?
Okay.
Yeah, because apparently when sharks are in utero, baby sharks, unborn sharks, they eat each other. So there's only one left at the end. And this reminds me a bit of Genghis Khan killing off his siblings.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but he only killed one of his siblings, not all of them, and I don't think he ate his siblings.
Okay, that's a bit different.
But it was kind of related, because they were hunting and they were fighting over the shares. Okay, so then at 16, he got married, and then his wife was kidnapped, but then Genghis went on like a rescue mission.
Right.
With a friend, and they got her back. Age 20, he was captured and imprisoned by another tribe.
Okay, he's sounding very unlucky.
Very unlucky, but luckily he escaped with the help of a sympathetic guard who knew his father, and they just sort of escaped. And then he ended up gradually gaining power through sort of assimilating the tribes and having loyalty above all else. So he was kind of lucky in that he didn't die within the first 20 years of his life, which I guess a lot of people in history, I guess it's kind of normal before the 20th century.
Yeah, absolutely.
To not die in the first 20 years, that's lucky. But he was exceptionally lucky in what he achieved after that.
But often you die from things like malnutrition, childhood mortality rates, not trying to be murdered by many members of your own family. I'm
That's
not sure that's the highest
usually,
cause of death.
But also related, he's related to 8% of men in Asia, which is...
So he got lucky quite a lot.
He had his wife, but he also had a huge harem, and all of his sons had like their own separate little empire bits, and they had their own harems. So there's a huge amount of descendants coming from Genghis Khan.
I mean, that is quite astounding. And lucky, yeah. Genghis Khan, brings his troops over the steppe, doesn't he, and kind of sits at the edge of the gates of Vienna. This is Genghis Khan?
One of his descendants.
One of his descendants, all
I think so.
One of the many.
The Mongolians.
The 10% Mongolians, okay. Thanks, Josie. I don't know, I don't, this is a very interesting segment. We might have to rename it. Lucky/unlucky. Okay, so going back now to our bank of friends, I'm going to see what the devil is up to. Simon.
You fool.
And hello, curmudgeonly Simon, how are you?
Bah humbug.
Oh, again. So you were going to tell me this week why Scrooge has ruined Christmas?
Well, Scrooge hasn't ruined Christmas. Scrooge was fine. Why did Scrooge have to get changed? I think you meant Dickens, but while you mentioned Scrooge, he's absolutely fine. He had a really tough upbringing. His dad didn't love him. He was separated from his sister, who died young. He had to work really hard, and during that time he lost the love of his life. It's a really tough period of history, and Scrooge worked really hard and gave people work and employment. He had some fantastic lines. He said every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly for his heart.
Hang on. Let's get back to Dickens here. Dickens made Christmas. I mean, Dickens created Christmas. This is not, you're kind of defending Scrooge, but what Dickens is doing is reviving a whole lot of traditions that are being lost, and Christmas as we know it today is in large part thanks to him.
Well, yeah, there's that famous story about the barrow girl who said, Dickens dead, then will Father Christmas die too. That's all part of the Dickens myth. I mean, Dickens was just part of a wider revival of Christmas that was going on in the 1830s and 1840s. In fact, he took a lot of stuff from books that had already been written.
Well, no, so how are you going to defend it then? Nonetheless, he's key to that process, isn't he? He makes it a kind of mass consumption.
Well, my problem is with the process itself.
Okay.
This is the time of Chartism. The Chartists are saying the entire system in Britain is broken. It has to be reformed. We've got to have a more democratic system, a more accountable system. And Dickens is part of this revival saying that you don't have to change the system because the elite are rediscovering their responsibilities.
All right, so you're saying that Dickens is part of an elite co-option of popular traditions, but come on, these traditions have an existence outside the elite. They interact with them, but people across the country are singing carols, and that's exactly the kinds of cultural forms that Dickens is working with.
Well, now you sound like Scrooge, the unreformed Scrooge, because Scrooge says to his nephew, you keep Christmas in your way, I'll keep Christmas in my way.
Oh, Simon, you've read E.P. Thompson. We know that this is not a privatised version of culture. Like, we share, that these are traditions that are shared and mutually constituted.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Anyway, isn't Scrooge just a kind of, isn't he part of a sort of allegory for winter, and that the old year dies in the depths of this dark time, and through his relationship with Pip, who is an allegory for spring and youth, that the world is revived?
I still feel it's an allegory for the elite, that the elite have forgotten their responsibilities towards the poor, and now they're rediscovering them, this idea of, don't worry about political change, it's all about morality. But yeah, I can see how as an Australian in this horrible winter, people looking forward to spring. Yeah, I can see you buying into that.
We all need some lights to lighten the darkness. I mean, and anyway, how does it end? Pip reforms. It's Pip that reforms Scrooge, not the other way around. Not Pip. What's his name? I'm confusing Dickens.
Well, confused. You've got great expectations. This is the thing. You've been drunk on booze and chocolate over Christmas. You've been watching the BBC. It's all together. Little Tim.
I mean, but this is another excellent example, actually. Just as Little Tim, the working class, reforms Scrooge, so too does the returning Magwitch reform the ossified British culture. It's the colonies. The Empire Strikes Back yet again. We've got listeners all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah. Australia?
Oh, yeah. I suppose that isn't part of the world.
Oh, come on, it's the other side of the world. We have to say a shout out to Francis. Hello, Francis.
Happy Christmas, Francis.
And Rachel, our youngest listener.
Oh yeah, especially Happy Christmas to Rachel. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And we've got some in New Zealand. I think Margie, you might be listening. Hello, Margie.
Hello, Margie.
Hello, Margie.
Hello.
And look, listeners, if you too want your name shouted out across the world on the digital airwaves, write into us at www.facebook.com/HistoryPitch. Well, Simon, I wish you a very happy Christmas. Even if you're going to be stuck around the television, slightly pissed.
Can you say that on radio?
I think so. I don't think pissed is a swear word. You should see what Erika says this week. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'll give you Christmas off. That can be my Christmas gift to you. You don't have to...
No, this is terrible. Everyone should work at Christmas. This is horrible. I'll find some work to do.
Go to your local Tesco's.
I will go to my local Tesco's. I'll see if they need a hand with anything.
Yeah, but have a very good one.
Yeah, you have a good one as well.
Ding dong.
Thank you, Simon. Happy Christmas. Is Scrooge. So back into the studio where Artemis has just arrived wearing a moose hat, reindeer hat, I believe, actually, and bringing some amazing cake, which we will post in the tradition of History Pitch on the website immediately. However, we also have Tavinder. Hello, Tavinder.
Hello, Tamson.
Do you have a small announcement regarding a certain party?
I do. A very big announcement, because it's a big party.
It is a big party.
So tonight, the History and Politics Societies are having a Christmas party in Newton Room South at 6 p.m. There will be 2 lovely live bands, lots of booze and some food, and a raffle.
And a raffle.
And a raffle. So come along, come join our party and join the festivities.
I'm going to be there.
Exactly. Tamson's going to be there, and quite a lot of the people in the studio are going to be there. We're going to persuade Ben to come as well, although he's going to have to make a trek to East London and then back as too. But we'll see. We'll make it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so excellent. Come to the Newton Room South, 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
In the meantime, have you got a beard or a babe?
I do, and I went all Christmassy.
Ooh,
I
excellent.
found a Christmassy beard. So I was going to go with Santa, but Santa's very boring. So I picked the Dutch version of Santa.
Right.
Sinterklaas.
Okay, I have so many opinions about Sinterklaas, particularly about his helpers.
Yes.
But anyway.
So Sinterklaas is very interesting. He's essentially what Santa originated from, because he's the Dutch version of St. Nicholas.
Okay.
So on the 6th or the 5th of December, they celebrate St. Nicholas Day, and they have a great parade in the Netherlands and Belgium and quite a few of the surrounding countries, such as Luxembourg and parts of Germany, parts of France. So they all celebrate St. Nicholas Day, Sinterklaas, in Holland. And he is assisted by his...
Hang on. We've got to get a bit more background information.
Bit more background on him.
What Sinterklaas does, I was there one day on this day, and it was like...
You were there? Brilliant.
I couldn't quite believe what was happening before my eyes. So he arrives at the port on a boat from Spain.
Yes, he spends all year in Spain, and then this one day he miraculously appears in Holland.
Now, Spain is not... irrelevant to this story, right?
No.
Because he arrives on the boat,
on a steamboat.
On a steamboat.
On a steamboat.
Who arrives with him from Spain on this boat? His helpers, who are...
Zwart Pieten, who are essentially slaves. Well, not slaves, but they're representatives of Moorish slaves.
They obviously are representatives of Moorish slaves. However, do you know what the Dutch call them?
Do you know what they say now? They say their faces are blackened because they have to go down chimneys to drop presents.
Exactly.
For the politically correct, they say, hey, they have to go down chimneys so their faces are completely black, not just blotches, completely black.
However, they arrive black on the boat from Spain.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything is fine. Yeah, you know, they're well dressed, but they just have black faces.
And if you are in Holland or any of these other places on St. Nicholas Day, children have black-faced themselves up.
Yeah, children turn up to the parade.
Effectively as Gollywonks with big furry hair.
Waiting for these Zwart Pieten to drop them gingerbreads.
It's appalling. It is the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life.
So controversial, and they still continue it on. In fact, people who've communities have emigrated from Holland to America do exactly the same thing. There's a little town in the state of New York that have really proud of this tradition, and they, instead of on a steamboat, they just have him riding through town on a horse. But exactly, help us with blackened faces.
Yeah, not okay. It's not okay. HistoryPitch does not endorse this cultural practice.
It's crazy. And
do you have anything else on the beard?
Sorry, I have to come into that. Sorry, I'm appalled by what I'm hearing, to be honest. No.
I can't believe it happens still.
Don't take cultural practice and baptize it as racism. If you lived in Greece and saw the naivety behind all those small traditions, you would see that we are very well-intended people, but others label us as racist. We're not. We do many stupid things like that.
You're trying to legitimise the Dutch tradition of Zwart Peter.
The anthropologist would like to come in and wave a little flag for cultural relativism. Okay. So, and tradition.
However,
I'm joking.
There are also culture is made in various ways, and you can consume it and reproduce it with the greatest of intention, but it doesn't, negate the kind of structures and hierarchies that underpin it.
Yeah, I mean, you can have the knowledge behind it and acknowledge how it came.
They're not chimney sweeps.
I know. They've got some really cute traditions that they still carry on with, such as, they leave presents for kids in their shoes, which is slightly bizarre to us, but that's what they do. And yeah, that's a tradition. That's what they carry on with. But, stuff like having the representations of Moorish slaves is hugely questionable, and they have protests against it. The community that's not predominantly white in Holland protests about it every single year.
Good.
They still go ahead with it.
We have a question from the back of the room. Jagveer, you have to approach the mic.
Well, it's more of a point. It wasn't exactly like it was a one-way thing. The Moors enslaved plenty of Europeans.
Thank you very much.
Doesn't justify it.
I'm glad we've launched straight into kind of controversy here. See, this is the dynamic discussions that we have on HistoryPitch. So I'm gonna cool things down a little bit by moving now to our friend Rob, who is back, which makes me very happy because he was away last week, and that was sad for all of us. But Rob is back, and I think he might have randomly selected a very appropriate country. Let's see if Rob's around.
And hello, Rob. Welcome back to HistoryPitch.
Hello.
We missed you terribly last week.
Ah, that's really moving.
That is moving. Now, we've got a Christmas theme going today. Do you think your website can randomly select a sort of snowy region of the world?
Well, yeah, I couldn't remember what... I thought when I was growing up there was some kind of Christmas connection to Greenland. Like maybe Father Christmas lived there or something, and then I know people speak about Lapland as well, but I think isn't that a bit politically incorrect now? Like we don't isn't it a racist term basically, Lap? So I thought I'd stick with Greenland for the sake of not wanting to provoke complaints from your listeners.
We are nothing if not politically correct.
Yeah, I think it's because you can get to the North Pole in Greenland, and Father Christmas is at the North Pole, therefore you must live in Greenland. I think that's the logic.
Okay. That's a geographic reason rather than a kind of ethnic one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've randomly selected Greenland.
I've randomly selected Greenland.
I like this. All right, I'm going to get my watch out. You're going to give us... Last time you had 21 facts.
It seems impossible. I mean, that's one every 3 seconds.
Well, some of your things had more than one fact in them.
Yeah, and I've taken that into consideration. I've got a bit of strategy here. I've got some triple barrel facts going on.
So this might I might be being tested more than you.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go, Rob. Ready, set, Greenland, 60 seconds, starting now.
Greenland is the world's largest continental island. Its population is only about 58,000. 81% of the territory is ice caps. Vikings reached it from Denmark in the 10th century. It joined Denmark constitutionally in 1953. From the 1660s until 1958, the green polar bear featured in the Danish kingdom's coat of arms. The first book published in Inuit language was in 1742. Greenland itself was granted self-government in 1979 and another layer of self-government in 2009. It's the only territory to have left the European Union, which it did in 1985 over a fishing dispute. The first Norse colonisation of Greenland began in the 11th century but ended in failure. The first Christian diocese was founded in 1126 by the most of the priests had fled and the church has been destroyed. Ignatidou, an abandoned mining town in southwest Greenland, is one of the only places in the world to have naturally occurring cryolite. A quarter of the population lives in Nuuk, the capital, and until it was knocked down in October 2012, 1% of the entire population lives in a single building, which is called Block P.
Stop!
Which is a social housing.
Stop! That was 20, though. That was 20.
What? How could that not be more than last week?
20. So what were you saying what was this last fact? They lived in a single building?
There was the social housing development by the Danish government in Greenland called Block P, and it's this huge sort of architecturally and culturally insensitive building in Nuuk, and about 1% of the entire population of Greenland lived in this one housing development, building in fact, called Block P, and then apparently it was knocked down this autumn.
Leaving 1% of the population homeless.
Well, I think everybody moved on to perhaps safely. I didn't read that.
Block Q, maybe.
Yeah, but apparently, for example, they had extremely narrow corridors, and that didn't take into account that people in Greenland wear lots of thick layers of clothing, and yeah, it just sounded like interesting to know a bit more about Block P.
It sounds like a movie.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a horror.
Stanley Kubrick next. Yeah. And what the coat of arms has a polar bear on it.
No, the Danish kingdom's coat of arms, I think I'm right in calling it that, had a polar bear on it, which represented Greenland for like 3 centuries, when Greenland didn't really have like a political, any kind of political autonomy. But they did have a polar bear on the Danish flag, so there was some kind of acknowledgement that Greenland existed. I guess it's some idea behind that.
And not one Christmas fact amongst that. It's that you'd said earlier. It's the country closest to the North Pole. We could give that to you as your 21st fact.
Yeah, I don't know if that is though. I don't know. I mean, I'm wondering if this is a Cold War thing, because I just imagine that you can get to the North Pole in Russia, but like nobody talks about Father Christmas coming from the northern wilds of Russia, do they? But maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm not a geographer. I'm a historian.
You're a cultural historian. It covers many sins.
I'm a cultural historian.
Happy Christmas, Rob.
Happy Christmas, Tamson Pietsch.
Yeah.
I hope that you have lots of other Christmassy treats lined up on this programme.
We do. Erika Hanna is on talking about fashion.
Christmas fashion? Because I'm in the market for a Christmas jumper.
Oh, she has very, very strong opinions about them.
Oh, right.
You should listen for advice.
I'll watch out.
Don't be sporting one on Saturday night.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the wrong side of the irony, please.
Well, that's exactly what Erika Hanna is. Yes.
I think Hadley Freeman, who to me is something of a style Bible, at least in her opinions, I think she said that Christmas jumpers are okay. Indulge it.
I know, and I think Erika has a lot of respect for Hadley Freeman, although I don't know if she gets behind the low/high cleavage current episode on The Guardian. Hadley's very clear, one must not show one's cleavage this season.
Well, in Hads we trust.
In Hads we trust. It's a bit early for first thing in the morning, isn't it? Too much cleavage. Rob, thank you very much. Happy Christmas.
Thank you.
See you in the new year.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Thank you, Rob. That was very sweet, wasn't it? Now, what I'm going to do is try and play you some traditional Australian Christmas carol music. I don't know if this will work in the ways that I want it to.
In Australia, Christmas comes in the middle of a very hot summer, so when Santa Claus delivers his presents, he's not taken round by reindeer because they can't stand the terrible heat. He's taken round by 6 big, white, old man kangaroos called the 6 White Boomers. Early on one Christmas day, a Joey kangaroo was far from home and lost in a great big zoo. Mummy, where's my mummy? They've taken her away.
We'll help you find your mummy, son. Hop up on the sleigh.
Beside the bag of toys, little Joey hopped, but they hadn't gone far when Santa Six white bloomers, snow white bloomers, racing Santa Claus through the blazing sun. Six white bloomers, snow white bloomers, on his Australian run.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, you see, that's the kind of cultural, thick cultural environment that I come from. So...
Wow, how do you follow that?
Six white boomers.
I'm not singing that song.
Jumping up and down. I can also do a good didgeridoo with a Christmas wrapping paper.
I'm sure. Right.
Yeah. So Ben.
Hello.
Hello. You live on a boat.
I do.
Yeah. So Ben is an anthropologist. He's a bit of a confused anthropologist.
Yeah, usually.
Are you allowed to? I don't know. This is your field work, isn't it?
It is. This is my fieldwork here. I'm here at Brunel with our social anthropology department, and I am a researcher working with liveaboards. That's people who live on narrowboats and travel around, mainly.
And you're also kind of slowly being co-opted into the history department.
Yeah, you guys are fun. I mean, the anthropologists are brilliant, but, you know, they don't have a radio show, and I love the radio.
I mean, few people do. So
I know.
It's now absolutely freaking cold.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and you are living on a boat.
Yeah.
Where?
I am currently at Victoria Park, which is East London, so my nearest tube is Mile End, which I have to walk to, and yeah, it's quite near Hackney as well. So I've been all the way down the Regent's Canal, though. Last place I was in was Limehouse, and I started off in my little journey in the summer in Reading, so I went down the Thames a bit as well, so I travelled about.
We must put a brief plug in for you, because you also drove your boat up to Uxbridge, up to the Grand Union Canal, and you took some of us on it.
I know, I had a load of history students on my boat, which was dangerous. No, that's fine.
Probably more for you than for us.
Yeah.
But what's it like being in the winter? I mean, how are the boaties dealing with... Are there fair weather boaties and cold weather boaties?
Firstly, with my anthropology hat on, I don't want to group, even though this is to an extent what I'm doing, I don't want to group everybody who lives on a boat together, say that they're sort of a specific little cultural group doing something. It's all a really modern kind of occurrence. There's only been people.
Let me do that. I'll do the
yeah, you do that bit. Whereas I'm going to keep it all quite postmodern-y. But there's only really been people living on the boats for pleasure and cruising around since the 70s. So this is all very new. People do it for all manner of different reasons. You can't really say there's such a thing as a boatie. What I will say, though, is that those in the marina, so they tend to have a little bit of an easier time of it in lots of different ways, really. They've got... they can plug straight into 240-volt electricity, and they've got sort of pump out right there. They've got water that they have on tap, so that they don't have to keep on filling up their water.
You don't have electricity?
I do. I generate my own electricity from the engine using an alternator. We've also got solar panels, which obviously are pretty useless right about now. And also I can run a generator. So that's usually how you generate your electricity if you're cruising, if you're moving around. So yeah, people in marinas generally have an easier time of it. And obviously during the winter, you find that you're burning a lot of fuel. I mean, it's a bit of a cliche. It's a bit of a running joke among people on boats. They always say that the first thing that people who don't live on boats ask you is, isn't it cold in the winter? But it's a cliche that works the other way around as well, because when I first said that I was moving onto a boat, everybody came up to me and said, oh, the first winter will be tough. Oh, yeah, it's cold in the winter. Make sure that you're okay with it. So it's a kind of a rite of passage thing. But I think that as long as you have a solid fuel stove, which is an absolute essential, keep on burning your smokeless coal and your good eco logs. So that you can be environmentally friendly about the whole thing.
What's an eco-log?
They get wood chippings, so like sawdust and offcuts, and then they squish them all down. You can make your own, actually. I've got log makers, which are amazing things.
It's a bit like a Rolly cigarette, but it's a wood block.
No, not at all. Yeah, you...
freestyling here, I'm freestyling.
you put a load of bits of old wood and cardboard and things in a box, and then you put down a plate on top of it, and then squish it all down until it's something solid, and then you can burn that, and it's a lot better for the environment than just burning large bits of tree. So we tend to do that, and a solid fuel stove is an absolute essential. But as long as you keep that going, then you're generally all right over the winter, unless the canals all get frozen up, in which the coal boat can't get down to you. You find that you can't move at all, so you might end up in trouble for overstaying.
Tell us about this overstay thing, because you're subject to police brutality, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, fight the power. No, unfortunately, a large amount of my study, and I'm trying to limit this down, is getting into the politics of the thing. Because continuous cruises, that's people who are travelling around the system. People try to stop them from doing that in a variety of ways. They'll say that they're contravening the conditions of their licence by overstaying in places. You know, the state in general doesn't have a very good relationship with travellers for an awful lot of number of reasons, but on the ground, that means that quite often you have these confrontations with... It used to be British Waterways. It's now a charity called the Canal and Rivers Trust. And you have legal battles ongoing. You have lots of surveillance, people coming taking photographs of your boat sometimes, watching where you are. It varies in different areas, but generally they're not keen on the fact that some people are dodging the system, I just did inverted comma things, by managing to, say, live in somewhere like London relatively cheap, because it can be quite a cheap life living on the boat and travelling around.
So what they want you to do is move every 2 weeks, right?
Well, what they ideally want you to do is stay in the marina and pay your council tax, pay your marina charges, pay these, pay all this money, which is essentially as much as rent, and they want continuous... what they say is that they want the people who have continuous cruising licences to be true travellers. That means to make a constant navigation of the entire waterway system. Now, we've got a lot of waterways in this country. We've got a lot of rivers and canals. And in order to do that and then do something sensible like, have a job or a family would be pretty much impossible. People in reality do need to make circuits around particular areas, maybe travel off a lot in the summer, winter down, have a winter mooring, stay somewhere when the weather's cold and you've got these short days and you can't really spend your entire life cruising around the canal. So they say that they want people who have a cruising licence to do this, to be completely nomadic and to spend their entire time travelling, which isn't realistic. And also, there's just simply not enough affordable moorings in especially places like London and the southeast for people to settle down. Yeah.
Do you think this policy then is part of the state's attempt to reduce the travelling community? Because it is impractical to have a life. You can't send your kids to school if you're going up and down the country. It's a way of taking people off the water.
Everything that I'm doing is really work in progress, and everybody's got some pretty different opinions on this. And also we're in this period where British Waterways has ceased to be and has become a charitable, not-for-profit. It's become Canal and Rivers Trust. And rather than the old kind of status quo with BW, where people sort of knew where they were, they'd have a lot of conflict sometimes in certain areas with representatives from BW. But CART, nobody really knows who they are or what they're doing. At the moment, there's a lot of surveillance, but not a lot of ticketing, not a lot of people trying to move you on. And so what they're collecting the data for, what they're going to do with it, and how they're going to try and tackle what they say is a livable or continuous cruising problem is something which we're not too sure about at the moment. And but just before I go, because I've rambled on enough, I don't want my entire PhD to become about this political situation, especially as it's a really it's one which has a lot of big opinions on every side of it. I really don't. I want this to be about some of the quality of life that you get on the waterways. Some of the great things about being a sort of a nomadic person in modern Britain, which is quite an interesting thing. You don't get too many people spending their lives travelling around. And
it sounds like we might be hearing from you in the future. So we will. Be lovely. Yeah, we will get some sort of itinerant anthropology.
Ooh,
yeah.
Sounds good.
But now moving back to everyone's favourite segment. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about.
Set fire to your hair, poke a stick at a grizzly bear, eat medicine that's out of date, use your private part
Yes, it's Dumb Ways to Die. Artemis, hello.
Hello.
Why have you taken your hat off?
But it has two huge horns and it's not very comfortable. Sorry, I'll put it straight back on.
I don't think they're good reasons at all.
Oh.
Thank you very much.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, that's much better now. Okay, that's a dumb way to take, by the way.
You could be strangulated by your own moose horns, reindeer horns. So what have you got today?
I've got 2 deaths.
Oh.
Okay, one is kind of Christmassy, so I'm going to leave it for the end.
Save that one up.
Yeah, and so I'm going to start with Clement Vallandigham from Ohio in 1871, who died after accidentally shooting himself with a pistol, which is okay. You know, those things happen. That's okay. Yeah,
it's an everyday kind of.
The problem is that, okay, he was representing a defendant in a murder case for killing a man.
Okay.
So Clement attempted to prove the victim had in fact killed himself while trying to draw his pistol from a kneeling position. So, as he conferred with his fellow attorneys in his hotel room, he showed them how he would demonstrate this to the jury. So, grabbing a pistol he believed to be unloaded, he put it in his pocket and enacted the event, shooting himself in the process. So, he proved his point, which is dramatic, and the defendant was released from custody. But he died of his wound.
That's terrible.
So he was trying to prove how a man committed suicide by accident, and he committed suicide by accident. It's so sad.
I mean,
and
in some ways, that was one of the few ways that he could have proved that you could commit suicide by accident.
Yeah, he was so devoted to his side. Yeah, I know.
But he didn't deliberately mean, if he deliberately meant to kill himself in the process of trying to demonstrate that he was committing suicide by accident, then it would have not worked.
He would have used someone else. I mean, come on, if you do it on purpose, you say, okay, can you prove that? You take one of the minor attorneys and you say, oh, well, yeah, one of the interns. You don't pay them. You can get another one. So you say, you will go and do that. Yeah, let's try it once.
Okay. We do not recommend this practice because
No.
does not endorse this practice or racism. Okay. What's number 2?
Great. So in January 2002, a Croatian was killed while trying to open a hand grenade with a chainsaw.
Okay, why is that Christmassy?
No, the thing is that he wanted to retrieve the explosive to make firecrackers for the New Year's holiday.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Isn't that sweet? Yeah.
So he thought that you could get out the gunpowder from the grenade by opening it with the chains.
Yeah, but you know, those are Croatians. Oh, sorry, racism again. Maybe I'm the racist here.
You Greeks, you're all like that.
I know, right? Maybe we can have a new segment like some ordinary racism from the Greek or something.
Okay.
Your daily dose of racism, unintended always.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Artemis. We're going to squeeze in the itinerant poetry librarian now because she is somewhere again that I'm not really sure where. And this may yet be her last segment. I'm not sure. She may be leaving us. So we're going to welcome her. The itinerant poetry librarian.
Hello and welcome. Today we're talking about pretty much our most favourite thing ever. It's the notion of itinerancy. We're going to be speaking to a mobile library in Mexico, and in our library lowdown of the week we feature a library on a boat. Oh yes. But first up we have the wonderful Citlali from the Foundation A47 based in Mexico. This foundation is responsible for Mexico's first ever public library of contemporary art. Thinking out of the box a little bit when it comes to all things library and contemporary art related, what they came up with is a specially constructed and designed truck which can rove around different neighbourhoods in Mexico setting up. And it doesn't just set up, it takes off all of its walls and the side of the truck to open out to be, in effect, an inside-out library space. Amazing. Let's find out more details. Citlali, take it away.
The idea of this mobile library became from a bigger idea and not mobile idea of a library. The main purpose of this foundation is to create a public library, art contemporary book library that is it's going to be the first public library of this kind in the whole country. The truck by itself, it had to respond to the main needs at a multifunctional space. So in a way, we were asking for a library, but also we were asking for a different scenario. And something that it could be seen as neat, clean, or transparency feeling with the space and with the walls. So the architects create this system, a door system, that it could be walls or doors. You don't take off the walls, to just open it. So you open it, and if you are far away, it seems like there is nothing. You can enter to the library you can jump, you can put the stairs whatever you want. You can put 2 stairs, an exit, an entrance, and this is part of the flexibility that was requested. From side to side, it is 10 meters and something, and from the floor to the top of the truck is 3 meters, 34 centimeters. You can restructure the inner space of the library depending on the activities you are going to do inside. We can imagine other ways to connect knowledge and people, other ways to socialize what's in the content of the library by itself. The way it works is people just go inside and take a book or just read. When it's a bit crowded, but not so, or maybe on weekends, and especially if the spot provides the proper shadow, maybe from trees or something, we put the chairs outside the truck, and people can actually take the books outside and read them. We do have a plan especially designed for each spot we are parking the library. And it's a plan that it has, it's like a little package of activities. It has 2 workshops, 1 and 2 interventions per spot. And in each spot, we park in the library for a period of 2 months. Not every day, but maybe Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we are parking in this neighborhood. And on Monday and Wednesday, we are parking in another one. So in a period of 2 months, we cover 2 different spots. We choose them with different criteria. One of them is that this neighborhood, institution, school, park, wherever, doesn't have an art library. No? So in this way, we cover a certain need. The other way is that it has a program or something happening in there. Maybe in a cultural center, they have certain workshops, but they don't have a place to read or to do some research or everything. But they have already a sort of a schedule so that we can adapt us to the schedule to get to this audience or public. The other criteria is that it has to be, if it's not a school or an institution or a cultural center, it has to be an open public space, such as parks, because parks are places for recreation and people go there just to spend some free time. It's a place that is different from the school place, work places, the inside of a house, no? And the last criteria that is very important as well is that it has to be a place where the truck fits.
Library Lowdown of the Week. Did you know that the Honourable Company of Master Mariners has a library on a ship? OMG! The HQS Wellington is conveniently located opposite Temple Underground Station, and in fact is the headquarters of the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. Formed on the 25th of June 1926, it was in 1932 that the Court of Aldermen conferred on the company the status of livery, which was in fact the first time in over 200 years that the ancient doors of the City of London and the Guildry of London had opened to a new company. As if having your headquarters on board a vessel wasn't amazing enough, in fact the ship is also an historic artefact in and of itself. HQS Wellington is in fact the last surviving member of the Grimsby-class sloops. The 13 ships of this class were built in the 1930s to primarily serve as convoy escorts, with 4 being lost through enemy action during the Second World War. As you'd expect from this particular sea-buoyed and sea-bound library, it has a preponderance of publications relating to maritime subjects. There's anything from the complete works of Joseph Conrad right through to Lloyd's Register of Ships. In addition, there are also many ship's logbooks, first-hand accounts of seafaring, and other research papers. There's also a large collection of sextants, chronometers, octants, telescopes, and barometers. Rare items include a Lister and Martin's Berlin circular sextant, made in mid-19th century Germany, and a French chronometer dating from around about the 1850s. Now, it's important to note this is not a freely accessible public library. It is a library specifically for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. However, if you are, quote, a serious student of maritime matters, then the library should be available to access.
The next train to depart from platform 4 is the 1610, First Great Western Service to London Paddington.
That was the train arriving at Paddington Station. Now, unfortunately for me, I kind of messed up a little bit on my whole how British is Tamsin citizenship test situation. Now, this requires a bit of an explanation because basically what I did...
No, don't explain. You don't need to explain yourself. You know, those things happen. Okay, let's proceed to the test. It's okay, really.
Okay.
You don't need to do that.
So I have to sit the test this Saturday.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Okay, let's get you prepared for that. Okay.
Thank you,
Great.
Artemis.
So let's proceed. Okay.
I feel like something I'm losing control.
No, you're not
losing control.
Okay, no, it's okay. Come on, don't you trust me?
No.
That's so great. So let's see. Question number 21. If you were British, okay, and your name was Tamson Pietsch, how would you spell that?
If I was British and my name was Tamson Pietsch, I would spell that Tamsonpietsch. However, I'm not British. Therefore, I failed to spell my name correctly.
Oh, no.
And this meant that I was unable to sit the test because although I have a PhD and I know what percentage of the population in the UK is Muslim, I cannot spell my first name.
Yeah, but would you say that that's elementary? I mean, who would make that mistake?
Well,
what's your...
I had
that's
studied for this question. It was not in the book. I didn't realise.
So creativity zero for you.
Zero.
Oh.
But the British aren't exactly a nation known for their creativity.
Oh, is that racism? Oh my God! What's going on this day?
Oh my God.
Someone's becoming Greek. So,
you mean the Greeks would let me in?
Of course. Come on, we love foreigners. Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that. You're just mean. And you don't know how to spell your name, so just don't speak about Greeks. Okay, so which statement is correct?
Oh, God.
A, maternity leave depends on how long a woman has been working for her employer. Or B, maternity pay depends on how long a woman has been working for her employer.
That's the same. Do you know how to read?
No. That's why we have the same radio show, you know. We complete each other. You don't know how to write, I don't know how to read.
You don't know how to spell or read on radio, it's fine. So what was the actual question?
Maternity pay depends on how long a woman has been working for her employer, and maternity leave depends on how long a woman has been working for her employer.
Oh, I see. Oh, my God. So you get state entitlement to leave pay.
Yes, that is correct. So if you get through the name section next time, you will get there. Great.
Thank you, Artemis. Thank you so much. And that's right. So when we come back after the break, I will either be British or not British. And I'm sure you're all hanging on the edge of your seats to find that out. I will have learned how to spell my name either way. And now, Jagveer, before we leave, you have some conspiracy theories for us.
Yeah.
Do you not? What do you have?
following on from the theme of today, I decided a more Christmassy one.
Oh, good work. Good work,
Yeah.
you.
So soon it's going to be a very special day for someone.
Sorry?
Someone's birthday.
Someone's birthday.
Someone's birthday soon.
Oh, okay, yes.
Do you know
maybe-
who this person is?
Maybe on the 25th. Alison Carroll's birthday's tomorrow.
Should we sing a happy birthday in a bit?
Get already drunk today.
But she's not here today, but we could sing a happy birthday.
Yeah.
Right.
Happy birthday.
One.
She's not here.
2, 3. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alison. Happy birthday to you. Woohoo! Hooray, hooray, hooray. Excellent. So, Alison, shout out.
Actually, I didn't know it was her birthday.
Ah, you're not talking about Alison.
You just stuck to a conclusion.
Who are you talking about then?
You know that it's quite a famous date.
Oh, help me out, Jagveer. You're killing me.
25th of December.
Oh, it's Jeebus. You're talking about Jeebus.
No, see, no.
No. Who are you talking about then?
A Roman god called Sol Invictus.
Oh, see, I see you had that whole setup and I was not playing.
But incidentally, how long ago was it when Jesus was born?
God knows. I mean, what? Literally. Okay, he's like 2005 or something. 12. Come on, work with me here. We've got limited time.
You were close with the first one. It's not 2012, because according to the Roman Emperor, it was in about 4 AD
Okay.
that he was born.
Okay.
So
he's only 2005. Well, that should make him feel better. Doesn't have to use the night cream anymore. So why is this a conspiracy theory? Because we've been dating the world incorrectly.
yeah, because most of the whole tradition around Christmas has been nicked from pagan holidays.
Yeah.
There's a pagan god called Mithras. He was born from a virgin, produced several miracles, and gave salvation to mankind through his death, apparently.
That sounds like some excellent plagiarism. Poor academic practice on behalf of Christian civilization.
Give them credit, they killed all the witnesses.
They killed the witnesses, that's right. Erased
That's what Christians did too.
The Christians did too, yes. Thank you, Greek. Thank you, Greece. So now that the frivolity is reaching fever pitch, I'll just shall we leave with a rendition of Six White Boomers? Six white boomers, snow white boomers, jumping up and down in the blazing samba baba. Six white boomers, snow white boomers, in the Australian sun. Button, 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 button.